Hey, what's up? My name is Jordan Mitchell, and welcome to the Shrimp Society, the hub, the community for Web3 builders and creators. And every week at 8 p.m. Eastern, we host a Sunday dinner. It's a family affair, it's a community event where we go around and we have a featured shrimp, a builder, a hustler, an innovator, an artist, and we talk about their story. And this week, we had the amazingly talented Matheus Gomes. He's an architect by day and overall creative by night. He's the creative director of Red Waves Media and record label, creative director of Order Behind Chaos, and our very own Shrimp Society NFT artist. We talked about his creative process, some of the things he's learned as an architect and how that applies to the creative field in general, NFTs and how that's affecting the creative industry, and overall just his story. So, without further ado, enjoy your Sunday dinner.
Hey, how's everybody doing? How's the audio quality? I'm breaking out the podcast setup here. How's it sound?
Sounds good. You sound clean as hell.
Wow, so do you. I got the headphones on and everything.
Amazing.
This is next level.
So, what are y'all bringing to the table for dinner tonight? Talk to me.
I went with so there's a company in the Shrimp Society called Pallet Labs. Their founder, Mike Perhatz, just launched his app called Pallet. It's in the App Store. Check it out. Pallet, P-A-L-E-T-T-E. I'll drop it in the chat. And it's a food delivery app that delivers food porn. So what that means is when you're like scrolling Instagram and you're like, damn, that steak sandwich looks absolutely fire, right? And it's like someone in their kitchen cooking it up, like a celebrity influencer chef kind of person. You can basically order it. It goes to a ghost kitchen, which has like the full like recipe from the chef creator, and then they deliver it to you. So I had this fire French dip that I just got delivered, and it's absolutely. What are you eating?
To be honest, I haven't gotten dinner yet. I was just gonna wait till after this, go get some Chipotle or something. I'm slacking right now.
Yeah, Luke knows me. I have not probably. Luke knows I haven't eaten dinner yet.
Yeah, I was staying with Brian for about a week and a half, and yeah, Brian just doesn't eat. It's crazy. I was literally like starving for weeks. I couldn't get anyone to come eat with me.
That Addy life.
Yeah, I said I'm like 25% Addy, 25% cold brew, 25% mozzarella stick, 25% pizza,
and all heart, 100% heart,
and also 110% shrimp.
I love it. That's awesome. Matt, what about you? You cooking anything right now?
I went with some spaghetti and meatballs. Nothing too crazy, but definitely hit the spot.
Good stuff. Well, tonight we had a little last minute change in cast. Our original guest, Jake, who is part of the team, had kind of like a family emergency, so he had to jump out and handle that. So we're bringing up another member of our team, Matt Gomes, who is our artist. So tonight on Sunday dinner, we're covering Matt's story, the art inspiration, and hopefully, I haven't gotten full confirmation yet, but hopefully a sneak peek of the art as we go through his creative process. So that's kind of on the agenda today.
Awesome. Yep. I'm glad to step up and talk a little bit about the shrimp art that I've been working on for the past, I would say, month now.
This guy has been in the grind. I don't know if everyone here in the audience has seen kind of like the teaser we put out maybe a couple weeks ago. But we've been filming a lot of Matt's creative process. We'll be putting out kind of that little mini documentary clip soon here. But Matt, why don't you start us off here and maybe just introduce yourself? Give us like a little bit of like your shrimp story, like where you're from, all that. Let's go back to the beginning and kind of paint this picture for everybody so they really understand, who you are and how this art's coming through.
Awesome. Yeah. So, I mean, if we're going into beginning, I kind of grew up in Brazil. So, my lifestyle when I was a little different from now. But when I moved to the States when I was around 9 years old, I lived in the Boston area, and me and my family just kind of stayed there. The actual goal was to actually move to Florida, but my dad's business at the time was doing pretty great over there. He didn't want to kind of leave what he had and start over from scratch. So we ended up getting caught up and stayed in that cold for a little bit longer than I would have liked to. But really, my story as a shrimp, being involved in Miami, really started about a year ago. I was a junior in college when COVID kind of hit. I remember like the first time I heard about COVID, I was actually working at a cafe shop, and I was like, "Oh, that's a joke." And then like next week, I was out of work, and all of a sudden, school's closing, and all of a sudden, I'm like at home living with my parents again. I was like, "What is going on?" Life
It's
just
not no
completely
joke.
went 360 for me. Yeah. My goals at the time was to get a full-time job after college in Cali in the Bay Area. I studied landscape architecture, something that I stumbled across but kind of fell in love to. Technically, it's like anything outside of interior designing. So a lot of the work that I do comes from park design to residential houses to pretty much anything in the art space that's out exterior. But yeah, about a year ago, living back home, working a few jobs, now no longer with all these big goals and ambitions. Starting feeling a little too comfortable, wanted something changed. Around that time, my boy Kevin, he was already living in Miami, so hit him up, started talking big dreams again. At the time, he was running a media company from his music videos, and we just had this window of opportunity. Like, let me drive cross country and get a room with you and someone else and figure it out. Kind of start over. The city, never lived in a city before, and that's kind of what we did. At first, I mentioned it to my parents; they were not cool with it at all. But most parents are.
Did you have a like a job lined up here, or it was just like gonna
I
go check
had
out
I
what's
had
going on with them?
absolutely nothing lined up here. At the time, I knew that I was going to be involved in my boy's business a little bit, Red Waves. The two kids that I was moving into, Luke and Kevin, they both were running Red Waves together at the time. So, I mean, I knew I would be involved in what they were doing. They're two very like entrepreneur kids that Luke ended up parting ways and starting his own media company, and is overall just always in business and starting new things. So I knew I could make some money. I knew I could hustle. That was kind of my thing. I had 6,500 in the bank, and I thought that was enough to move. Definitely on the low ball side, but Miami was a little bit more expensive than I would have hoped. These $14 beers sometimes really be kicking my ass.
Yeah, it's brutal.
That's
But
why
yeah,
we have the shrimp discounts coming.
yeah, right. Too. If I had that shrimp discount, life would be a little different back then.
I love it.
What
So, what
Go ahead.
what was Red Wave all about? Like, talk us through that. You said it was a media company. They're doing music videos and stuff like that.
Yeah, Red
What was
Waves
that all about?
is now merged into more of a media company. We offer a lot of media packages for influencers. We do anything from music videos to hosting our own events. We're actually hosting our first event in Wynwood November 6th. It's going to be in kind of like an art space. So it's called Studio One. It's an off-grid gallery. It's a gallery for off-grid art, fashion, and music. So we're going to have all three of those merged into one event space. Going to be pretty cool if anyone's around. The spot is in Vision House, and that's November 6th. So definitely going to be a cool experience. But Red Waves was really, at the time, mostly just music videos. We had this really larger business plan, but at the time, most of the money was coming in from music videos and website creation. That's kind of what Luke handled. He handled mostly the websites and potentially drop shipping, things like that. And while Kevin handled the media work from photography to video work for a lot of rappers throughout the Miami area. And when I got involved, having a background in architecture and a little bit of drawing, and now doing more like digital graphics, they kind of pulled me into as like a graphic designer, which went from me doing little jobs from flyers to album covers, to finally being like the creative director for Red Waves, and kind of helping from any way that I can, from helping manage our artists to really just helping that vision come to life.
Were you always like interested in like hip hop and music and stuff like that, or were you just kind of thrown into this?
It was like music was kind of like my safe haven when I moved out here to the States because at the time I didn't know any English or anything like that. So I tell myself I kind of learned English through like listening to old Lil Wayne in my dad's car, low key, because I'll mumble all the words not knowing them and then like start figuring out what certain ones meant. Um, but yeah, with the whole music scene, I mean, I fell in love with music when I went to my first underground concert, and that was only probably like 5 years ago. Um, and I just remember going and like the experience was amazing. And after that, every time I had money in my bank, that's where I was going, either a music festival or a concert. So music's been a big part of my life, but never did I like work in music before. But it's definitely like being this whole shrimp mindset. The music industry is one of those industries that gives you like everything. It's really a mashup of all types of people. If you're really into business, like you'll find the business side of things. If you're really into art, you find how artistic it can be. Um, so yeah, I
Yeah.
never knew that I would work in it, but I feel like looking back, it was always something that I've been interested enough. So it's not surprising that now I'm as involved as I am in it.
Yeah, definitely. And it is super interesting because you have, like a traditional whatever tech company or something like that, you don't really have individual talent that's so displayed. Like it's more behind the scenes, right? And more of like a team movement. And when you think of a famous artist like Lil Wayne or something like that, or whoever up and coming artist, you think, oh, it's just them, they're a star, they've like come up, but you don't realize the team behind it and like all of that goes behind the scenes for them to get out there and to get the music out there and to get music videos and content and all of that stuff. It's huge. I was actually just seeing today, like someone on Twitter, it was an artist, I gotta pull it up, but they did an NFT of their album or something like that, and they said
Mm-hmm.
that it was like they generated enough revenue that would have been equivalent to 10 million downloads or 10 million streams on Spotify, and they did it just all from their fans, which is crazy where NFTs and music are going.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I see myself working in this music industry for at least the next few years, and I think NFTs are about to change the music industry like altogether. Like no record label in the next 2 to 3 years can keep running the way they're running if they don't adapt to NFTs and to how they release their projects. Like it's the most profitable ways in a long time that artists are finding that like wow, I can actually release a project. Because most art in music, if you're not touring and you're not hitting the roads and really putting in those hours, you're not making money. Streams don't pay out that much. A lot of things that people think are gonna blow up, like merch and all that stuff, like yeah, that brings in a good amount of money. But sometimes it's not enough, especially if you're trying to live up like an image of a rapper or something like that. So
Yeah.
NFT projects are really like empowering both the labels and the artists themselves in a way that's so creative that every project is coming out so different that I really don't think that 3 years from now any big label is not going to be putting out NFT projects with their artists.
Yeah, for sure. What was it, Burley? Was it Imagine Dragons that came out and was kind of like the first one to do that with their album or something like that? Is that who
No,
it
was
was?
it I don't think it was Imagine Dragon. There was Blau, or
Portugal
was
the
it
Man,
Blue?
I think.
Who
Who'd you
was
say?
it?
I think Portugal the Man or something. Like
Which
I
would
don't know.
be
I don't listen to them, but
Also, do you know the DJ Blau, or is it
they
what?
tokenize.
How do you pronounce it?
Pronounce what?
The DJ was like the number three and Lau Blau. Is it Blau?
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know
He's
how to
big.
pronounce his
He
name.
was one of the first where he signed. Had an NFT project for royalties, and then also most have been working with like genies to have like avatars, and some have done like a bunch of like Decentraland concerts. Like they had a whole like festival, and yeah, the guy Blau, or however you say it, he was like the headliner, and they had crazy sets in the metaverse. It was actually pretty nuts. So kind of curious how that could be if like you have virtual music festival, something like
yeah.
you have a Lollapalooza. If you can't go to Chicago, maybe it's also in the metaverse kind of thing. Be
Yeah,
kind of
I
nuts.
remember Travis did that on Fortnite. Remember he popped out.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I feel like that was the moment that everybody was like, "Oh shit,
what the
this
hell is
like
this?
metaverse collect, bringing I don't know, like more established people into the metaverse and bringing it more mainstream, that's like, I think a game changing moment for kind of this whole industry. And then of course everyone relates a lot of, the simple analogy of, oh well, do you know people who buy Fortnite skins or skins in any video game? Like it's similar to an NFT, right? And like the application of it. So that was
And
huge. Like you never
it's
thought
also
that was
crazy.
gonna be a game changer.
I just looked at it. 12.3 million players went to that Travis concert.
Wow.
Think about that. Imagine that in like an
12
NFT gaming
million?
experience. Yeah, imagine if you had like
Holy
sold tickets
shit.
like $5-10 and like a metaverse experience that
Mhm.
the creators and the people that own that rental space would like make money off that. That would be interesting
Yeah.
concept. But
That's
This
what's huge, yeah. Because
no
like
one can
even
steal
though
our ideas in here.
yeah, don't take them. But even though like it's been a thing with like social media, you can put your content to like a global audience, but you can't have like a global audience experience something at the same time until now. So like
Mhm.
yeah, with marketing for that, that's crazy. Because if you are someone like Travis Scott, and you can pull in 12 point something million people to watch one of your performances. That's a lot of money if you charge them all $5.
So I don't know how familiar everyone is with Decentraland and what
Yeah.
that is. So basically is sells like virtual virtual land, virtual space in which companies can build out entire ecosystems for like avatars. Think about Minecraft. Minecraft has like all these like sub ecosystems. For example, I was watching my sister play, and Disney created an entire virtual Disney that you can, you hop in lines, and you know how Disney, they have the fast pass.
Hmm.
Literally like buy virtual fast passes to get the front of the lines. And so anyway, just I saw on Twitter 2 days ago, I think, Marshmello had a concert in Decentraland, which was pretty cool, and it was pretty well attended, and I mean, it looked super super dope. The visuals looked crazy. I saw a little video. See if I can find the tweet and pop it in the chat.
I mean, we got to do Shrimpapalooza as a hybrid event. That's physical Shrimpapalooza, but then a metaverse application as well. Like I feel like with all the digital conferences and stuff going on, and the kind of hybrid conferences, it's just opening up so much more. And the Decentraland model and that kind of
I'm
metaverse
trying.
model just makes so much sense.
I'm trying to look more. Yeah, I've gone to Decentraland a couple times. I want it for especially for something like the shrimp. I think it's cool. It's like very fun. Like I went into like the online casino and they give you like $100 free play. You can go and like play real blackjack to like win money. So I think we might have to invest in some shrimp real estate.
I'm down. I'm down. We gotta call it something cool, like the wharf, like something, nautical and theater.
Yeah.
Call it something cool, like build out this huge Navy Pier Bayside looking thing. All these different venues.
I'm
So it was they called it the Metaverse Festival, and I'm seeing they had Paris Hilton there, kind of random. Sending some of the tweets in the chat. Dead Mao or Dead Mouse, Dead Mao, I don't know how you say it, but he was the one I saw performing. I mean, like, look at this picture. Crazy.
Shiner's raising his hand. Are we allowed to bring up Shiner? Can we bring up Shiner?
Yeah, let's do it.
Dumbo?
We're on a big tangent with Metaverse. I feel like let's do it. We'll get
Yeah.
back to the art, but I'm rocking it. How do we approve this?
I
How do you
think I
do
did.
it? Shiner, are you with us?
Yeah, I don't know how to get him up on stage.
I think he has to come up. Yeah.
Yeah, he has to raise his hand.
Nope.
There it goes, hand raised. Dude, we gotta figure this out. This happened.
Here I am. I got it.
There we go. Shiner, what's going on? You talking Metaverse? What's
guys?
up?
Yeah, I'm talking Metaverse. I was gonna rip you guys for how long that took, but it was my fault. I didn't click accept at the top of my browser. First off, what's up? Thanks for having me and letting me speak on my first Sunday dinner. I've been a little delinquent in the past two, but I wanted to jump in on the Metaverse thing because exactly what you guys were talking about with, we got to get some shrimp real estate and stuff like that. I was pretty much spent my Sunday all involved in a really cool Solana NFT project that just minted today. and dropped called TowerDAO. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. You get a room, and you can be roommates. You can give keys to other people in your wallets. Some of them are desks. Some of them have coding equipment. Some of them are like party rooms with speakers and everything like that. And what they did that I thought was super cool was leave like a bunch of little Easter eggs to all the other Solana Metaverse communities. So like of the mints, all the NFTs that came out, like some of them had bananas on the ground for some of the, the ape featured NFT projects there. Others had, they left little like little Easter eggs for all the other NFT communities on that metaverse, and they're trying to make it what you guys were talking about, like a gathering space, a hybrid of it. So yeah, like me and another guy that are in on the mint today. We're also on this other project. If you guys don't see my profile picture, Lotus, the Lotus gang on Solana. We're already talking about, we got to throw a kickback, man, because he's got a room with like a speaker and a party, and I've got some other stuff. So yeah, just wanted to reiterate that like this stuff is happening. I'm really new to this piece, but you guys are talking about like getting a meeting room or getting a space for the shrimp to gather and to act, and I'm starting to see projects happen, especially on the Solana space.
That's so sick. Drop the link in Shrimp NFT channel.
It's in the new projects. Did they sell out? Trying to go mint one right now. Oh, they sold out. I'm looking at.
Yeah, they sold out.
They were
the
pretty
mint was
big
interesting. It was a lottery. It was 2 sold to get a lottery ticket, and it was refunded if you didn't win. So I minted 1 lottery ticket, lost, and then immediately went and picked one up off the floor. So I'm gonna ride that and see what's good. I had another interesting experience. If you guys would let me share before I hop off the stage and let this get back over to the head shrimp. It's just like it's more of a testament. So let me put it this way. Let me frame this. I'm up here talking about NFTs, and I bought my first one week ago. I feel like 1 week has been 1 year of my life. My Apple Screen Report was my screen time up 65% in the last week. So here I am. But in my day to day, what I also do is I work in fraud investigations and compliance, and I consider myself somebody like really hard to dupe when it comes to that stuff. And today, one weekend, I was victim to my first wallet fraud. Lost some money, but I'm saying this and I'm sharing this experience so hopefully others can avoid it. But also like just as a testament that I lost some money today. I was victim to getting one of my wallets cleared out. But because of the educational resources that I found on here, Beerly, I know that you shared a couple, and just that I found in Discord communities in general over the past week, I prevented myself from being like in fucking tears and calling my bank right now. That's the concept of using a burner wallet. So if nobody's ever heard of what to do with, what a burner wallet is or why that would apply or how to make one, if you're planning on getting involved on anything Solana, just send me a message. I can help you make a burner wallet. It takes like 2 seconds in Phantom. But because I made a burner wallet and only put enough tokens and stuff that I needed to do my transaction instead of using my whole actual wallet, I saved myself from being completely wiped out of the crypto and NFT space and losing all of my projects to only losing about I don't know, $400. So I could have cried and just like quit NFTs and quit this space and said but just wanted to read the stuff that people put out there because I did that. I know that I'm uneducated in this space, and looking to others who have been around here longer saved my ass today. So thanks to you guys for shooting that information around and making sure that we're all educated and aware.
I love it. That is a great security compliance plug for the day. Appreciate that. Stay safe, everybody. Hit up Shiner around the burner wallets and stuff like that. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming up.
All right, peace. I'm gonna hop off the stage. Thanks, guys.
Peace. Teej, Solana man, you got something to add on that, or are you just up here hanging out?
Yeah, no, I'm just sitting over here. I'm like
You're like
a little take on that. Like, so he was over there talking. What's up, everyone? My name's TJ. I'm like a little bit of the technical team over here at the Shrimp. King Dev is as they like lovingly call me. It's great. I'm more of a Solana guy. I've been loving Solana, but I'm all crypto for sure. Super bullish on everything. I'm just sitting over here working on like some Solana iOS stuff, like casually listening, and then I just hear Shiner over there talking about the TowerDAO stuff. I actually thought he said that he was like involved with the drop, so I was gonna take that as an opportunity just to like ask him about his experience doing that stuff. But then as he was talking, I don't think that's the case. But but still super cool. TowerDAO's been something I've been like keeping my eye on for a bit, and actually have like given me some cool ideas. There's so much cool stuff coming out. Like virtual spaces is definitely one of them. And just like cool projects that go beyond like the normal PFP, which is like kind of like what we're vibing, right? So
Yeah.
just want to say what's up. Wanted to kind of
Just wanted a little FaceTime up here. That's what it
Solana.
was.
I hear Solana, and I start my eyes open up wide. Right?
Immediately
So,
jumps on stage.
I know, literally. I couldn't throw my hair up faster. No, yeah. I'll get back to it. What's up, Shiner?
I love it. Shariffs, we got a Shariffs up here too.
Yo, what's up, boys?
How we
Had to come crash Sunday dinner for a second. How we
Always
doing?
love a little nifty love.
What's going on?
Always love it. No, I had to say what's up. I love listening in. Excited for the next few months with you guys, man. Crushing shit.
NFT.NYC coming up. We'll see Evan soon up in New York City.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Down to meet whoever up there, man. We might as well throw a little pregame here there. I don't know.
Yeah, we might have to get the shrimps together for a little. I don't know.
Definitely.
Tomfoolery in the city.
Is there like a master event list and stuff like that of all the parties and stuff going on in NFT.NYC?
I've been putting a little something together, but I don't have all of them. Just the ones that we're kind of interested in seeing and scoping out. But I'll definitely hit you guys with one.
Yeah, we got to get a thread going for that.
Wait,
it's next week, right?
Samuel, you're going? Chris, you're going?
No, I'm gonna be in Tulum at a wedding.
You got me all excited. You started talking about it. I just bought my ticket the other day. Yeah, I'd love if we had some shrimp like list of
King
events.
Dev, me and Luke will be in New York.
Oh hell yeah! All right, well we'll link for sure.
Big shrimp energy.
Oh my god!
Big shrimp energy.
Big shrimp energy.
Can someone say NFTs? Let's fly across the country.
All right, boys, I'm about to bounce. Good talking always.
Appreciate it, Shariffs. I think let's, now that we got some good metaverse commentary, we got some people on stage, I think we should get into the art, because I think the craziest thing about this Discord is we're at 260 people and no one has even seen or really heard much of the story behind the art. And so that's why, which is just crazy. I mean, we appreciate that. We love that. Everyone just riding with the values and everything that we're about here without even getting a peek at the art yet. So I think before we go there, I think, Matt, if you want to kind of talk us through the story of the art, right? Because there's been a lot of different versions and renditions and things that we wanted to pull in together here. But do you want to give kind of like a big picture on the artwork and the things that went into it?
Yeah, sure. So this artwork, it's kind of revolutionary in this space in a sense, because any project before ours, I would say you kind of start with the artwork, and then you kind of go from there into building a community and seeing where that community takes it. But we weren't starting with a blank plate, which was awesome. We had a whole community that we wanted to represent. We also had a city that we wanted to represent. So in general, when I'm starting any type of art, I always like to just, try it out by hand, see where it goes. But very quickly when doing that, you start to find out that, man, shrimp isn't the easiest thing to represent, especially in a way that, you can dress it up. You could have it with almost like human-like characteristics. So really quickly, this became very challenging in a way. And every time we would meet as a team, I'll kind of show them how my ideas were just all over the place. And then you also got to read into the market itself, what's working, what's selling. And a lot of what was selling prior to, I guess what I would say recent, was, profile pictures, more zoomed in upper bodies where it's more detailed with a very simple dress up down below. But man, I would draw this shrimp 100 times and I'll put it up there, and when it was just the head by itself, it would look like a shrimp or a snail or anything in between. So real quickly I was like, it's gonna take a lot more work than I thought of. So through a lot of moderations and stuff, we had the idea of kind of morphing a human shrimp like thing, which I don't recommend anyone to look it up on like Google or anything because they're quite disturbing. What people have done in the past.
You went to the deep corners of the web
Deep
to see
corners
what
of the
we
web.
did.
Yeah, because I mean, if you think about it, I mean, let's say we're doing like a monkey or like, you know, a Frenchie or something. There's a million drawings of a Frenchie or a monkey or anything in between out on the internet. And as the graphic designer, you're always looking for references. No one really starts from scratch. Um, so it's kind of tough when I quickly realized that, like, man, the only real reference was maybe like Larry the Lobster or like something that I saw on like Rick and Morty, but that's a little too far fetched from what we were trying to represent. So it really took a lot of back and forth, going from doing the digital graphics to going back and trying to work things out by hands. You know, do I give it a human face and now a shrimp body, or do I give it a shrimp face and a human body? Should it have 2 arms? Should it have 6 arms? Is it gonna have a nose? Is it realistic to give it ears? Like all kinds of crazy questions that kept unfolding as we kind of got deeper into the design, and it's definitely been a process. I think what makes our team very unique is, you know, even though we're really grinding this out, everyone kind of has their real business or, you know, their day job, and which is also a hustle within itself. But, you know, putting in the extra hours to try to figure out how am I going to attach this arm to the body and not have it look like, you know, it's too skinny, and how do I make that arm now be able to like hold a cigar or hold a cup, you know, all kinds of crazy little alterations that I've had to play with.
And
But
you hand draw everything to start, right? Like that's your like
yeah,
what's your creative process? Fill everybody in a little bit on that, like the steps you go through on that.
my creative, so I like to, my artistic style within itself is a little bit more like, I'll say the sketchy, distorted side. Um, and when I like to start drawing, you know, first I need to do it by hand. I need to see it on paper, just because you're also limited in terms of how you can sketch um, right off the bat on like a tablet or a computer or anything like that. So I definitely start by hand, and as you guys saw, like the first I think 2 times I showed anything, it was like 30 different hand sketches of what I thought a shrimp could look like. And by the way, we're trying the overall look we're going for. It's kind of like a nonchalant shrimp, you know, something that's hip, but definitely universal. We're definitely trying to incorporate female shrimp in there too. Kind of give it a wide variety of different traits.
Yeah, and
But
I
yeah,
think
so go
I
ahead.
would just add on that is like we really saw this as an opportunity where we wanted everyone in this community to see themselves in a shrimp, whether that's a specific trait, whether it's a mood that the shrimp had, or whatever it is, because we're seeing this as like a longer term hold, right? To be a part of this community. It's not something you're just like flipping and you're just looking at you know, buying in bulk or whatever it is, right? Like we think and we see this as something that, you know, you're going to have on Twitter, and as we go to the metaverse, like you're going to be proud of your shrimp because it represents you. And so we really thought hard around like how can we have a shrimp that still like has characteristics of a shrimp, because like Matt's saying, super difficult to like make a
Yeah,
shrimp
super
human.
difficult in the sense that, you know, um, shrimp has no facial structure. It's literally 2 eyes and a pointy little thing that spikes you. Like that's it. So when you start to add facial structure, it's not really. It's more of a human. You know what I mean? So it was finding that balance of, all right, that's too much human like. That's too much shrimp like, and what that in between might look like. Is kind of what we've been working with for the past, I would say, 2 weeks now. As we finalize this design.
I love it. I love it. You can screen share on here, right? Can you share like a couple of like old concepts, like original concepts? I feel like it'd be cool to go through like a little bit of the evolution.
Yeah, how do I screen share on here? I'm on my phone right now.
Um
The voice.
Let's see here.
I'm not seeing that it gives me the option.
Where'd they go?
Oh, what?
We took over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoa. I pressed the button and got booted.
I was like, what?
Maybe I don't know. I thought there was a way to do it here, but if not, maybe drop it in the main Shrimp NFT chat.
Let's see. Maybe I'll create a channel right now.
Got it. Because I think it'd be cool to see the different aspects of it. And like I mentioned, we have kind of a docu-series coming out that goes through the different aspects of building an NFT project, right? So obviously the art and the creative process being a huge one, and we filmed a lot of content for that. So that's coming out soon as well. We had a teaser video that went out a couple weeks ago that we can drop as well that has some of that, but I think getting this behind the scenes stuff would be pretty sweet.
Yeah, I created an art sample channel.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Yeah, let me just take some photos real quick then.
Hit that.
Also, I guess on like the side note of kind of where we're looking for overall look is kind of one of the things is getting the balance between art and also a graphic and kind of like a character, because as we said, we want this to be an identity in the space in the metaverse that someone could connect with. So like one of the recurring questions we did when kind of looking at the art concept is, what would you want to see in like an animated, like a Netflix show, and kind of where could you see this character being placed? And I think Matt, kind of as you could see like the digital kind of shrimp creation come to life, you'll see that maybe it's kind of got like a Rick and Morty vibe when you see the line work of it. It reminds me of like a gutter cat or sort of that slickness to it. And I think it's very eye popping. It's also like a work of art in itself. And I think you also find that the detail of the traits and the very Miami unique features, I think that also bring it out.
Need the D-Wade shrimp. Miami Vice.
Need the D-Wade shrimp. By the way.
Come on. If I pull that, I'm going crazy.
And the traits, there are like, there's a whole series of traits that are all around Miami, right? And we're kind of showcasing the culture and the things that make this city. But then again, this is totally a global project where, we've said before, our roots are in Miami, and that's kind of our hub here and the center of this movement. But the traits will also have things that are more relevant to anyone who's an innovator or builder or embodies kind of the values of being a shrimp.
Yeah, I mean global like our community. We have people in here from Pakistan to Buenos Aires to New Orleans, New York. I mean, it's crazy. It's really really cool seeing where everyone's from, but everyone coming together for this this one vision. So
Love it. Matt, drop the art. I'm on the edge of my seat here. What do we got?
Yeah, so I just put a couple things together. So no one's gonna get the full piece of the pie today. That's coming out later this week. But after talking, I wish I could take you guys through some of these drawings and some of these references to kind of give you guys the bigger vision. But I'm sure you guys would kind of be able to see where we went from these. But these are a lot of process in between of merging one style with another, one concept with another. And I put in some hand and some digital. Where should I put it into? Just the general chat, the regular chat?
In the art sample chat.
You don't see no art sample chat. Oh, I see it.
Sweet. Everybody has access to that, right?
Yes.
Early. Okay.
Yeah, I think I might have to delete the chat after an hour or two, only for the Sunday special people.
I think so. I think
So-
100%.
Definitely delete the chat.
100% gone forever. Hey, you gotta be. It's
Wow.
gotta be there.
You
Hey, if
gotta
you
be
know
at
you
Sunday
got,
You
dinner.
gotta be vibing with the boys if you want in.
don't be a fan later.
Yeah, I'm
Love it.
holding a lot of the good stuff from you guys, but this week it'll definitely all start pumping out. But as you can see, imagine how you can draw a shrimp and mix it with everything else, and that's kind of what we've been playing around with for this past few weeks.
So yeah, if you go to art samples, you can see Matt just posted a couple pics there, and these are all from like different times of the process we've been going through. Right, the team's meeting like every 2 days basically on this, right, and going through these concepts. So it's been through a ton of iterations. You can see we kind of had that snail look early on with like a human body. Then you can see that we felt that, you know, we wanted to show that it was a shrimp, right? So what makes a shrimp a shrimp? You have the shell, which is kind of, you know, iconic, obviously, like the shrimp tail and everything like that. So how do we work that in here? Which was tough because then you go from a traditional PFP, which is a little bit closer, right? If you look at Burley or Luke's, you know, picture or mine, you can see it's like a traditional PFP of an ape or a dino monk or whatever, where it's just kind of shoulder up. But the challenge is, how do you show a shell? How do you show more of what a shrimp's all about, especially if you're going to have a more human face? So, I mean, maybe you can expand on that a little bit, Matt, but I know that was something we like had a lot of just
That's
issues
something
with.
that even till right now we're still going back and forth with. You know, the shrimp is definitely very developed. We have a lot of the traits. I didn't show anything finalized because I kind of want to give it that wow factor. But you
Gotta
know,
play with that futuristic shrimp. I see that.
yeah, you I put
Bada
just a
play.
sneak peek of that one in there. It goes crazy. But yeah, the hardest part is, you know, if you have a body, I mean, if it's just an upper body profile picture and it's just dressed up, the face has to read shrimp. And I kid you not, you can't just make something that's the face of shrimp and someone will look at it and be like, oh, 100% that's just a shrimp. Because I would go around and I'll show certain people and they'll be like, oh yeah, that's a lobster or like a shrimp or like a snail. So I just got all kinds of crazy answers all the time. So from there, it's like, all right, we need the shell in there, guys. Like that's something that we all started pushing. Like you can't be a shrimp without the shell. So it's like, all right, how can we make the shell something that's maybe more unique? Like think about maybe if the shell is like armor or something, or if the shell is some type of futuristic, like I don't know, body. And do we carve the arms into it? Do we keep the arms? Maybe the arms are the human features, so it can hold the cup and all this other stuff. So yeah, that's just kind of a mashup of a little bit of what we've been working with. As you guys can see, like the different ways that we were trying to get to where we are now. It's been quite the journey. Just this past weekend, I really was debating if the arms were finalized. Maybe the arms go back to being the 6 arms instead of the 2 arms. And as of right now, I think I might go back to the 6 arms. So still definitely something that's being cooked up. But I really think you guys are going to get something really cool at the end of it.
I love it. I love it. And it's so cool to see, like, I mean, for me, I'm not an artist. I have like, you know, no artistic skill in my body. And to see like when we'd be on those Zoom calls early in the project and you just have like a million pieces of these paper floating around taped up on your wall and like your whole room's covered in this. I was like, you know, holy shit, we're dealing with a real artist. You know, this is not like someone who's just scamming something or like copying something from online or whatever. I was like blown away. I remember texting Burley and being like, yo, we have a real artist on board. This is crazy, right? So super stoked about that. I think also something that's fun is like the whiskers. That's something that we went like, you know, we weren't in on the whiskers, but then as the shrimp body came out more, the whiskers are a cool attribute. And, you know, if you ever seen like a live shrimp, the whiskers are definitely a big part of that. And there's a lot of fun stuff you can do with that, which is cool, and some that's being developed.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's exciting. still playing around with really hitting that Miami look, but I think we're getting there. Very close.
Definitely. I wonder now, like, I'm just thinking of this off the spot, but like, if anyone, maybe we can bring up like one or two people if they have any like thoughts on it, or maybe one specific feature like the whiskers or whatever, like to get a little input from the community. I think that might be cool. I don't know. Can we do that, Burley? If anyone here,
Yeah, anyone raise your hand.
first take on the art. Who said that thing about the sharks being afraid? That's hilarious.
That was Shiner.
I love it.
I think it's just too good. I don't think there's.
Oh yeah, the
I
futuristic.
think that
Jaws dropped. Everyone's floored.
Someone in the chat said, "Look up Pete the King prawn." that thing
Yeah,
is
that-
goofy looking. It's funny
I was
looking.
geeking. Is that from what's that from? Is that from Sesame or the Muppets?
The Muppets, yeah. That's funny.
Love it. What about, going into how you go from, this art here into the process of getting it in the NFT, and maybe we can bring up King Dev to talk about that a little bit too, but that might be interesting, right? Because we have the concepts and the core pieces, but to create a big NFT collection like this, there's all sorts of things that then go into creating the generative art and stuff like that. I don't know if you want to touch on that a little bit, Matt, or we can maybe bring up Tej, King Dev to talk on that. Might be interesting to give a behind the scenes on that.
Yeah, so moving on these next couple weeks is when we start finalizing each trait specifically, and basically everything gets put into its own layer and exported as a PNG. And then Dev can explain a little bit, but after that, it's a process of just determining the traits